Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the Day 62 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. One thing I learned from yesterday is the NBA first off had better not ever shorten the NBA season, and basically they never will. Alright, so yesterday's games were pure flames, alright? Yesterday's games were pure flames. Mainly, of course, it was the Golden State Warriors Cleveland Cavaliers game. Yo, that game was intense. That game was lit. And I'm not a Cavs or Warriors fan, but I enjoyed watching that game. Yo, that game had me on the edge of my seat basically the entire time. It really did feel like an extension of the finals game. Like, you know what, let's replay game 7. Whoever wins this game is actually the NBA champion from last year. And you know, that's basically what it felt like. And it was actually pretty similar to game 7. Yo, the game was actually pretty similar to game 7. And you guys know what I mean. Yo, you guys know what I mean. Kyrie Irving transformed into Uncle Drew. Yo, Kyrie Irving transformed into Uncle Drew, did his shimmy, did his thing on Klay Thompson. Great defense from Klay Thompson, but better offense from Uncle Drew. And he hit like the game winner. On a side note though, I found it kind of weird that LeBron James was actually being very nice to Stephen Curry. You know, in the finals, there was all the stuff that went down between those two players. And, you know, LeBron James basically staring down Steph Curry like when he was on the ground. And now, you know, he was like helping him up and stuff. So I don't know, maybe it was because it was Christmas. Maybe it's because of the regular season. Maybe it's because it's Christmas. You know, it's Christmas, 'tis the season to be jolly. Or maybe he was trying to get into his head because, like I said, you know, he had 31 points, 13 rebounds. I'm just saying that's a coincidence right there. And then there was also the picture of him blocking Andre Iguodala with the championship ring on the other hand in the Warriors locker room. So, you know, that's another thing. But, you know, that's whatever. I just found that to be, you know, kind of interesting. I think LeBron James is just trying to be kind of petty right there. But now on to what I really wanted to talk about, why the NBA will never shorten the NBA season. That was the main point of this topic. It's for games like this, yo. The NBA fans, we love the games, you know, and I get it that the NFL only has like, what, 16 games. They do well like basically every single game. Like, we get it. The NFL does well because of the shorter season, whatever. But the NBA is a sport where I want to see as many games as possible. Yo, I really do. I want to see as many games as possible. I don't want them to cut any single freaking game. If you remember the season of the lockout, if you remember that lockout season, that was torture. Yo. That was awful, having to wait longer to have an NBA games, and then there was only like, what, 60 of them? That was not a fun season at all. But there's more to it than just that. There's more to it than just that. Sometimes it takes a team a while to start getting wins. As far as bad as the Blazers are doing right now, they were doing just as bad, if not a little worse, to start last season. They wound up being one of the better teams in the NBA after the All-Star break, and wound up getting into the playoffs, into the 5th seed. If you shorten the NBA season, then the Blazers probably didn't make the playoffs last year. Teams that start playing their best basketball towards the end of the season, and the less games you have, the less chance those teams have to make it. I guess you could say, well, that's their fault for, you know, not being able to get their act together sooner. Well, that is true, but at the end of the day, don't you want the better team, the team that actually deserves to be in there? Also, injuries. Players do get injured in like the off season and then training camp and stuff like that. So if you take away some games, that player might be out the entire season. What would have been like an injury that keep him out for like 3 or 4 months, which is still a decent amount of the NBA season, all right? That's basically like a third of the NBA season. If you take out some games, that could become half or even more than half of the NBA season. If that's a key player, that basically takes away this team's chances of making the playoffs. J.R. Smith just went down for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's supposed to be out for what, like 3 months? If the NBA season was shorter, that's basically, he's out for the season. That's all that means, is now he was out for 3 months, you know, he'll be back right before the playoffs basically. All of a sudden now, he's out for the season. Of course, all the stuff about the NBA needs money, and of course all that's true. If they did shorten the season, someone has to pay you. Someone is paying the difference for the money the NBA is losing out of their pockets. You know who that is? That's gonna be us. You're gonna see ticket prices go up, jersey prices are most likely to go up, league pass, which is already ridiculously expensive for what it is, that's gonna go up. Everything NBA related is gonna go up in price to make up for what the NBA lost. This is just pure facts right here. This is just pure facts. I get that back-to-backs, you know, need to be cut down, and they are gonna be cut down a bit next year because there will be less preseason games, so the NBA season will actually start sooner, which I am stoked about. I think that's the right thing to do. NBA season will start sooner, eliminating some of these back-to-backs, not all of them, but some. And I don't think they can ever get rid of all of the back-to-backs unless they want to just really extend the length of the season, which I don't think is the right thing to do, because these players want a break. They'd rather play some back-to-backs and have a longer vacation than, you know, just play basically 365 days of the year. But the main reason is that I'm just selfish, yo. I'm an NBA fan. I want to see as many games as freaking possible. I don't care if we all know it's most likely going to be Cleveland versus Golden State in the finals. I still enjoy the ride to get there, you know. I still enjoy seeing every single game. Crazy things happen in the NBA season. If you take away some of the games, then that means less crazy things will happen. Crazy things like the Lakers actually winning a game. Sorry Lakers fans. They went out and beat the Clippers last night. This was great, yo. If the Lakers lost this game, I can't imagine what it would have done to them, because the Clippers just lost to the Mavericks because they don't have Chris Paul, you know, they don't have Blake Griffin, so you know, that's basically the heart of their team is out right now. So you're playing against a heartless team. So I would hope the Lakers won. And it was kind of scary for, like, you know, the first half, you know, but then they got their act together and they wound up winning 111 to 102. All 5 starters scored in double figures. Nick Young still having a really good season. He had 19 points. I'm sure all of you guys, most of you guys watched like all of these games yesterday, so I don't have to go too in depth with this. But Nick Young had 19 points, Timothy Mozgov had 19 points, D'Angelo Russell had 14, Julius Randle had 13 points, 8 rebounds and like 7 assists, and Luol Deng had 13 points and 12 rebounds. It was a good team win for the Lakers, and they really needed this. They really needed this because they had been reeling after their impressive start this season. They looked like the Lakers team that we thought they were going to be. So, you know, they showed us both sides, you know, the good and the bad so far this year. Now they just have to, you know, go back to the good and, you know, try and get rid of the bad, because the bad is just awful. Of course, the San Antonio Spurs beat the Chicago Bulls. We could kind of see this one coming. I mean, the San Antonio Spurs are just, you know, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Chicago Bulls have been struggling lately. LaMarcus Aldridge had 20 freaking points in that first quarter. That was insane. LaMarcus Aldridge had 20 points in the first quarter alone. So, you know, he's a player that, you know, back when he was in Portland, he used to, you know, he used to find his own shot a lot. And with the San Antonio Spurs, when he's playing within the system, he doesn't get his shot as much. But, you know, when he was on fire like that, you know, they just kind of had to keep going to him. I mean, it would only make sense to keep going to him when a man is making all of his shots. Screw the system at that point. That man becomes the system. But he finishes the game with 33 points on 15 of 20 shooting. So, no, he was on fire the entire game. I don't know why they didn't go to him more. Probably because they didn't need to, because they were winning. I mean, Kawhi Leonard had 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 steals. It's the San Antonio Spurs. They're going to find a way to win no matter what. I mean, sometimes not even with impressive stats. Last game, they had 2 players with really nice games. But sometimes not even impressive stats. It's just, you don't know how this team won, but they do. It's the San Antonio Spurs. This is what they do. They win. The second best game from Christmas was the Knicks versus the Celtics. And, you know, the Knicks on Christmas before this have always been, you know, kind of like, why is this team playing? Who are these players out there on that court on my television on Christmas Day? Is this the best the NBA has to offer me on Christmas Day? That's basically what the Knicks were on Christmas for this last few years. But this year, you know, the Knicks are watchable. The Knicks are fun to watch. So, you know, it was a good game. The Boston Celtics did wind up winning. Isaiah Thomas, of course, still out here scorching people. Isaiah Thomas is still on fire. He had 27 points last night. Al Horford still not really, you know, grabbing rebounds, but he's doing everything else pretty nicely. He had 15 points, what was like 5 assists and a couple of blocks. He did have 7 rebounds, so that's decent for Al Horford, but you know, he's still not getting you like 10 rebounds per game like normal big men of the NBA do. Jay Crowder at 16, then Marcus Smart and Kelly Olynyk chipped off the bench. Marcus Smart with 15 and Kelly Olynyk with 16. And for the Knicks, you know, the big 3 played well. You know, the big 3, Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, and Kristaps Porzingis played really well. They all had over 20 points. And you think like Porzingis had what, like 22, Melo had I think 29, and Derrick Rose had 24, something like that. And of course, last but not least, Russell Westbrook seemed to be in a really good mood yesterday. Ooh, of course, it was the thing about him shouting, "Thank you, Kyrie," while running into the tunnel. I mean, he claims that's what he didn't say, but at the same time, if you keep listening to that, that's all I hear. You know, that's all I hear. Thank you, Kyrie. Maybe it's because that's what I want to hear, but at the same time, if that's what I hear, then that's what I hear. I swear I hear him saying, "Thank you, Kyrie," and we all know why he would be saying that. But anyways, thank you, Russell Westbrook, for the great performance you had on Christmas, yo. You 31 points, 15 assists, and 7 rebounds. You know, thank you for that great performance on Christmas. And Steven Adams had 22 points as well. He was the beneficiary of a lot of those Russell Westbrook dimes. Russell Westbrook, Steven Adams, you know, they can get their pick and roll game, you know, going whenever they want. Russell Westbrook looks out for Steven Adams, you know, that's like his homie on the team, you know, that's his like big dog on the team right there. And then Enes Kanter at 20 points as well. And you know, I like to see Enes Kanter this involved in the games more often. He's really efficient when they get the ball to him. Some games they'll have games like this. Other games, you know, he won't get as many touches. You'll get like 3 shots up the entire games, you know. I would like to see him get more touches because he is probably the most efficient scorer that the Thunder have. But that about wraps it up for all the action of the Day 62 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Smack that like button if you did, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily NBA videos. Comment down below if you think the NBA should shorten the season, or if you think they shouldn't, and your reasons why for both. I already gave you guys my reasons. Now I want to hear about yours down in the comment section below. And you guys know I'll be right back here tomorrow. Got a lot of games to recap from tonight. I think there are 11 of them. So I'll be right back here tomorrow with a recap from those. So until then, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!